A Life Worth Living by Cornelia Ramsey. Ramsgate Beach, 2217. Narrated by Chloe Schwank. This story is also narrated in Romanian. Hi, my name is Laura. When I was young, I was one of those highly enthusiastic persons who thought that anything was possible. I threw myself full-heartedly into any new project that came my way. As years passed by, I learned to temper down my first overly enthusiastic reaction and added some practical elements to the equation before starting. At retirement stage, I still believe that anything is possible, but this time around I ask questions and make a reasonable plan before I venture into the unknown. The eternal optimist, that's me. I learned early on that if I wanted to be happy, I needed to define what I wanted in life. How many people could answer that question without a blink? Don't worry, you are not alone. Finding out what I wanted in life was a process. As a little girl, I learned that if I wished to have my favorite doll from the top shelf of our local shop, all I had to do was to listen to my parents and do whatever they asked me to do without arguing. Throw a smile or two in the mix, and success was almost always guaranteed. Despite my efforts, my older brother beat me to it. He seemed to have better skills at achieving his preferences as we grew into our teens. I could not understand why. On my 16th birthday, I made a promise to myself. I would work harder at my ability to influence people. I was to find new ways to achieve my ambitious goals if any roadblocks came up. Years passed by, and that strategy was implemented uninterruptedly during my high school and university years, and then into the workplace. Working as a young female engineer in a male-dominated environment in a plant did not really feel like an achievement to me after 5 years of higher education. It was rather a catalyst to start doing something different if ever I was to draw any satisfaction from it. So, I started making decisions that were best associated with my values and not with other people's expectations, even if those decisions were not always popular. Standing up for what I believed in was important to me. Were they the right or wrong decisions? It depends on anyone's own perspective. For me, this was how the traditional trial-and-error approach was born. After the know-it-all stage as a teenager, in a couple of years I thought I had accumulated enough experience to be able to say, now I know what to do next. Surprise, surprise. I gave 9 years of my career to this first-time engineer role and did the best I could to make it work. Having to hire and fire people twice my age, in a workplace where physical labor and drinking were held in high regard, did not exactly earn me many points with the crew. Therefore, I earned my staff's respect in other ways. I listened to them. I tried to accommodate their needs as much as possible, and I encouraged and supported them, both personally and professionally. Initially, I thought this happened only because of the tough male industry. Surely everything would become easier over time once I accumulated more work experience under my belt, but soon realized that this was a commitment for life. It didn't matter what industry I was in. The result was almost always the same. Working harder was the key. Once I became a manager, my responsibilities kept piling up. No wonder, as I was volunteering for all sorts of jobs turned down by others. I always enjoyed a challenge. Sometimes I wondered if anyone could ever discover one day a nice fat mathematical formula for experience, able to teach everyone what to do to save us time and effort and allow us to enjoy life more. Wouldn't that be nice? Since we are born, we are all learners, trying to figure it out how to live purposefully. As an adult, I did what was expected of me, got married, had a child, bought a house, and worked tirelessly to provide for my family and pay my mortgage. However, my work alone was not always satisfying. I found myself joining a local choir and undertaking a journalism collaboration on the side to fill in the gap, until one day when it dawned on me. Fulfilling my dreams implied finding my own meaning. This realization took me on a path of self-discovery and introspection. Following my research, I eventually became a teacher. I thought it could help. During that time, I learned that my life's meaning changed at various stages, just like Viktor E. Frankl wrote in his book Man's Search for Meaning. For the meaning of life differs from man to man, from day to day, and from hour to hour. What matters, therefore, is not the meaning of life in general, but rather a specific meaning of a person's life at a given time. I discovered that helping individuals overcome their own barriers to learning was wonderful. So many good people out there needed help. I went on and developed a series of motivational workshops and conducted them with persons looking for answers they could not find by themselves. They only needed some guidance. A small-scale enterprise performed wonders. It was nice to see my students smiling after each session, feeling more positive and confident about themselves. It felt good to see them grow. Their feedback forms stand legacy for that. Recently, I asked myself, what's next? Take a break? Me? A break? Nah, I have so much to do. That's when I started writing short stories inspired by real-life events and published them. I chose to let the world decide if my stories could help anyone. All those thoughts, feelings, and actions I've taken, the choices I made, the stories I wrote, the love I spread amongst people, no matter their age, gender, background, religion, or country, they all made me, me. The end.